Anyway, the next section that we would like to look at is we need to figure out some way to determine the value of the lien. So in the case where you got punched in the nose and had to go buy some Band-Aids and aspirin, for $10, of course the proof of that would be you got a receipt. You got a receipt for the aspirin and the bandages. So this true bill and ledger here is this is a portion of the lien where there has to be determined an assessment of the damages caused by the injury. For instance, on our situation that we just talked about, for instance, if the 10 tons of wheat did not get delivered timely, and since it was not on time, the buyer at the granary now refused to buy the wheat, John Doe has lost that sale price. He can't sell his wheat now. It's sitting on the Bill's truck. So let's say, for instance, the value might look like something like a hard red winter wheat was to be sold at $150 a ton, and there were 10 tons that were going to be transported to the granary. So $150 times 10, it comes out to be $1,500. See, so we're establishing the value here. Then, if you figure that there's some kind of penalty or whatever needs to be added to it, then you could use any kind of multiplier that you want to use. A lot of people like to use the guideline in the Old Testament, which is, basically if I kill your cow, then I have to restore your cow and give you 3 more cows. And so our multiplier would be times 4, using that kind of thought process. And so you might take the $1,500 and multiply it times 4 and come out with $6,000 as the value. So then again, after we establish the value on the true bill, then we have to do what? Demand they pay it. See, demand is now made for the sum certain of $6,000.00, in our case in functional currency of the United States. So I think we have that pretty well locked in there, and there's all kind of tricky things can be done with something like this, but I'm gonna get into all the tricky things. I'm trying to stay simple here. All right, now on the surety, because again, just because you demand $6,000 out of the bill down there, that's not a sign he's gonna give it to you. And so if you have to go do a levy to get the value of the $6,000, and you might even have to go over here to this technique used in fiera facies and strict foreclosure. So anyway, you got to identify, in the event the bill don't pay, you got to identify what is going to be levied against in order to satisfy the $6,000. So this is what we call the surety. Hopefully Bill will put up a surety for performance in the event of breach of contract. Now when John Doe, or who it was over here, who was it? No, yeah, John Doe. When John Doe and Bill Smith sat down and contracted, certainly John Doe put up the wheat, and so Bill agreed to transport it, but did Bill put up anything as a penalty to be collected against in the event that he didn't deliver? It only makes good sense when you're doing contracts that you do put up escrow to guarantee that the contract, in the event of default or breach, so forth, can be collected against. But if those things weren't done, then you might start naming possible sureties that could be attached in the event that there has to be a foreclosure on the surety. So perhaps you might find out that Bill owns the truck, that he was going to take the wheat to the granary, or maybe Bill is actually an incorporated business that has an insurance policy to cover non-performance. In any event, John has to figure out what's needed to recover against Bill if Bill don't pay the true bill. Bill pay the true bill.